In this last example, we're going to learn to use a graphing calculator. And one reason matrices are so helpful is because we can program them into things, and we can solve, in this case, systems of equations using matrices, because that can be programmed into a calculator. So let's go ahead and look at this. It says use a graphing calculator, write and solve a matrix equation for the system. So I'm going to go ahead and put a graphing calculator up here. But first we're going to write our equation here. And so we know we can do a coefficient matrix. So make sure you copy everything correctly. So we have 3, -1, 2, -4, 9, 6, 5, 8, -7. That's our coefficient matrix, or our A. And then we're going to have our matrix X, which really X is going to be equal to X, Y, and Z, our 3 variables. And then that's going to be equal to our constant matrix, which is 32, -9, and 58. And so what we want to do is we're going to enter those things into our graphing calculator. And so here's how you do this. Down here will be the key history. So you'll see which buttons I'm pushing, and then here's what the screen looks like. These two are going to look exactly the same. So here we go. We are going to go to the matrix option. So you hit second, and then down here you're going to hit matrix. And it opens the matrices. The first thing you have to do is we have to edit this matrix. So we have to go over to the right twice. And I'm just going to hit 1. You can just hit enter, but I'm going to hit 1. And I'm going to put the coefficient matrix here. And so I need a 3 by 3 matrix. So right now it's saying a 1 by 1. I need a 3. Hit enter, and then by 3, hit enter again. And there you have your 3 by 3 matrix. And we can just plug in our numbers here. So we hit enter after each number. So we have 3. When we hit enter, it goes to the right there. We want a -1. And then a 2. So again, I'm just entering this matrix. So we have 2. Then it goes to the next line, -4, 9, 6. And then it goes to row 3, which is 5, 8, and -7. While I'm doing this, make sure you use the negative sign and not the minus sign. There are two different operations here on the calculator. So 3, I'm going to check really quick because you don't want to mess up. 3, -1, 2, -4, 9, 6, 5, 8, -7. And I didn't hit enter yet, so I have to hit enter to get that -7 in there. And there is my matrix A. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to quit. I'm going to get out of here. I entered that. I probably could have just gone back to the matrix screen, so I'm going to go. Now I need this matrix here, so I'm going to go back to the matrix screen. So I have to hit second, and then matrix again. Again, I want to edit, so I'm going to go over to edit. And this time I want to edit matrix B, or let's just, to stay consistent, we've been using the letter C, so I'm going to put C in here, which I can just type in a 3. Now this time I want 3 rows, so we're going to hit 3, and we have 1 column, so we can just hit enter again. We want to keep that a 1, and then we're going to enter these numbers. So we have 32, -9, and 58. Enter those, 32, -9, 58. We can now quit out of here. And so now I'm on the home screen, and I want to type in, remember what I want here is the inverse of A times C. All right, so what we can do here is we can go back to our matrix. This time we don't want to edit, we actually just want the matrix, so I'm going to hit number 1. And then I'm going to hit this inverse button right here. See, it says x to the -1, so I want the inverse. And I want to multiply that by matrix C. So I'm going to go back into matrix. I'm going to choose 3 for matrix C, and I'm going to hit enter, and there is the solution to this system of equations. So this means, remember, x is hidden here, but x, I can slide this over. Matrix X was just X, Y, and Z, so X is 10.27, Y is 2.38, and Z is 1.78. And that's how you can solve it on a calculator. You can do 3 by 3s, three equations with 3 variables. You can even do 4 and 4, or you can even do the easier ones, 2 equations with 2 variables. You can do all these because you can do these concepts on the calculator where you type in your coefficient matrix, your constant matrix, and you can do the inverse of A times C.